So I'm in denial that it's getting colder, winter's coming. I'm still in a t-shirt and shorts, and actually so is everybody that's sitting out in the beer garden here.
And I'm much more realistic. I got my jacket on, jeans, I'm ready to go, but it doesn't matter. The sun's out, outdoor seating is open. It's time for us to find out what's on tap at ONCO Fermentations. Across the nation, people have turned the hobby of crafting beer into a lifestyle. Amazing breweries are only a few minutes away from your own home.
From nano to regional or micro to macro, the question you won't need to ask is what's on tap.
ONCO Fermentations celebrated their one-year anniversary just before the COVID-19 pandemic began as they opened in March of 2019. Now, with their great location in Tully, New York, not only can the locals enjoy their delicious beer, but if you're driving through central New York, they're right off 81.
I'm pointing at it. I can see the exit for Tully right now. It's literally just go off the exit, take a turn. You're right here at ONCO Fermentations. Let's go check it out.
Let's do it.
Thanks for having us here. When did you guys get started? Like, how did this all get together here?
2010, traveling to wineries, we were looking at opening a brewery, kind of, home brewing, since 2010. Then 2012, the Farm Brewing Act came out, and so we started a hop farm with some friends of ours. So for 6 years, we detoured on the brewery, and we had a 3-acre commercial hop farm. We sold that when we were looking for this, and it was with another family that didn't want to continue on in the brewery, young kids, blah, blah, blah. So there was one other property that the four of us looked at, and thank God that deal went through because it wasn't the space. So then a guy who held the mortgage for the hop farm actually owns this building. So when we saw the sign driving by and this beat up warehouse, we're like, it took us a second in the conversation that's who we're dealing with, is we know each other. So they took a look at our business plan and backed us for the construction.
For finding a place, we didn't want to be in the city. We lived down here. We wanted to be part of the community. In the city, yes, they have neighborhoods and regulars, but I mean, this is really built around the community, and that was what our marketing was for the first 6 months or so, because they're the ones that pay our bills every day. So finding a place down here, you know, there's not a building every block, so you're looking forever. So this was cold warehouse space. These were boarded up overhead doors, uninsulated, so the landlord insulated it, brought in the electric and power for the place, and then and the overhead doors. Everything else, we painted everything. We built everything in the brewery, the epoxy floors, the bar, built the cooler. So everything within this space was ours. I used to be an architect, so that helped us with doing all of this. And yeah, so it just kind of, the opportunity with the space that we wanted, which was great for a brewery, you know, an industrial space, the feel that we wanted, something a little bit different in the country. You're not in a barn, but we're still, you know, we're kind of a local destination right now.
And it's a perfect spot too. You're not far off the highway.
Yeah, easy on, easy off.
Exactly, it's easy, and this is a great space. So when did you get into this space?
We opened March 9th. We threw a catered party for the contractors and everybody. It was our first experience retail. We were throwing money at each other. We didn't know what the hell we were doing.
Loose change, never.
So then we were scheduled to open the following Saturday. We said, what the heck? This one beer was ready, our Sweeto, our first IPA. So we said, let's open up on the 14th.
That was 2019. Yep. So our 1-year anniversary was the day before they shut everybody down.
What got you guys into the craft beer in general?
She made the mistake, just like every other brewer, 15 plus years ago, bought me a homebrew kit for Christmas. And, you know, on and off I would brew more, I would say more 7 years ago. I got more serious about it. Did a lot of professional seminars with breweries all over the Northeast, weekend-long seminars. Met a lot of great brewers and breweries.
The community is part of it, the brewing community.
I mean, we would go to, we went to Hill Farmstead the guy running the food truck there at that time grew up here, knows our friends. We'd go to Connecticut, run into somebody that was from the area, and they live in that. It crosses everybody's paths, and we loved sitting there talking when we went out, talking at the bar to other people, just seeing where they're from, what they're, and now we get to talk to them over the bar, and that's what we loved about it, is just being able to find out their story, and it's all over having a beer and enjoying it and enjoying everybody's atmosphere and what everyone has to offer.
And so where does the inspiration come from all the different beers that you make? Who's kind of the head of that, or is it a collaboration?
That's me.
I mean, it's him. The recipe's not set till he's in the middle of fermentation sometimes.
Yeah, I'll have a general idea of where I want to go with the beer, and playing with a lot of the new hops that are out there, some of the different grains too, and how everything will finish off. I will tend to skew my recipe towards the end. I don't stick right to it. I see where the beer is going, where the yeast is going. I mean, everybody says we brew beer. Well, we make wort. The yeast makes the beer, and you can control it as much as you want. But somewhere in there, whether you're mixing a new hop that you haven't tried, you might get a flavor when they're combined that you either have to adjust to, or maybe you want to accentuate it. So. She does the marketing. She's like, what can I put on the labels? I'm like, not there yet.
We have an arsenal of names that are given to us by things that happen around us. We have one called Bring Your Own Net that came from.
We were sitting on the porch one night when everything was shut down, and the town was doing a live feed on Facebook about their town meeting. And one of the discussions was, they took down all the tennis nets and locked the gates, but people were showing up bringing their own tennis nets. So
we said, all right, we got to write that down.
So bring your own net. So that's in the fermenter right now, and we're like, that's got to be a beer net.
The one thing I really wanted to ask is I've been noticing the logo is really cool. Like, how did you guys? It's a circle, but explain it.
So we wanted ONCO. Well, he drove by a place called Delco something.
We had like 20 different names going on.
He goes, how about ONCO on the phone? Yes, so we did that. And then, so we came up with the O-N with the straight N, and we wanted it encapsulated so it all was all the letters in the logo, and it just made it look like it was about an N. So then we rounded it out, and he whipped it up in AutoCAD.
So you guys have been open now for a year and a half now. What's next? What do you guys plan on doing after this?
The goal this summer was to increase production, which would have been additional fermenters. We put that on hold just because we don't know what's going to happen this winter. But we have started distribution more. We actually just hired a sales guy who's worked with some other large breweries, which is great. It takes a little bit of load off of us for having to do deliveries, etc. We just bought a canning system. We've been filling Crowler 16-ounce cans by hand all summer. We
put that on order 18 weeks ago. We're like
thousands of them, and we just don't want to do it anymore. Plus the quality. We want people to taste what they're drinking when they're here on tap, not have something that degrades over time. So.
Our end game is to get people to the tap room. We want to be a destination. Yep. So we're choosing selectively where we put our beer. We don't want to sit on any shelves and collect dust.
But we will be, hopefully in the future, expanding our beer garden. We have plans for different structures out there, decks. We're looking to expand in the back, hopefully soon, to at least get some of our outdoor seating inside to help offset some of the 50% occupancy regulations that we have to follow right now. So short-term goal is survival for everybody, what comes this winter, and then long-term is just
more tap rooms.
Keep people coming in, and truly, since we were able to reopen after the shutdown, I would say 75-80% of the people have been new faces, not just our locals, which is great. I mean, it's every 3-4 customers, or 4 customers, 3 of them are first-time years, which is good, which means the word's getting out there that we're here.
So a little bit of change of scenery now. We're in your brew house. if you will. Smaller, but at the same time still feels like you have plenty of space. What's kind of the setup in here?
We have 4 different fermenters. We actually brew on a modified 3.5 barrel system. We can actually do 5 barrel batches in this. We just kept increasing the size, customizing the equipment to where the price just went out of our threshold for opening. But mainly we do 3.5 barrel batches. We will be getting a 5 barrel fermenter sooner or later. But these are all unitanks, so we ferment, crash, carbonate, everything in these. We just got our canning line, so we will be putting out more cans, so we'll be able to can directly from the tanks. We kind of did that to take everything into our control instead of having to schedule with another company, possibly a beer not being done. We don't want to rush it and get it in the can when just because that's the day that we have to have somebody coming in-house. So we just wanted to control that a little bit more, and hopefully not put bad product out there, but to get our name out there. So
The names of the tanks. Yeah. Abe, Oscar, Bella.
yeah, they're named after our past dogs that we had. We loved our dogs. They went everywhere with us. We'd love to have another one, but we're just a little bit too busy. So we named them after our pets. I still yell at them once in a while, depending on what's in there, what's going on.
We have a pilot fermenter called Annabelle.
Yeah, so we have a little 15. We had a cat, so we have a little Annabelle. When I was homebrewing, it was called the Dog Pen Brewery. That was not a name that we wanted to continue on with this. There's a lot of dog-themed breweries out there, but I still have the sign that she had made for me hanging up, and we still, so we just brought that in and named our fermenters after that.
What do you got currently brewing here? So when this episode comes out, maybe there'll be something that's currently on right now, because this is going to be out probably mid-October.
So we, in this tank here, we have Richard on Acid. It's a sour New England IPA with apricot. This one here, it's called Off the Island. It's a series off of our Southernmost Point, which our Southernmost Point is a key lime pie GOSE. We took a small 15-gallon batch of that and put it on toasted coconut, and we called it Off the Island. So this is and that went in one night. Yeah. So this will be a full batch of that. In this tank here, we have a New England IPA called Bring Your Own Net, which we talked about earlier. So that has some experimental hops in it. In the larger tank, we have a Kolsch that we're actually brewing for a craft beer establishment that's moving locations, and they asked us to brew a beer for them. So we're going to split that batch, and it's going to be dry hopped with Citra, and then the other batch is going to be dry hopped with German Amarillo. So that one will actually be coming out mid-October. So that one you might see at least in cans and on tap here and at the other establishment.
All the beers sound really good. I'm looking forward to trying them here.
Yeah, finally figure out what's been coming out of these fermenters. I think it's time for us to pour four.
All right, pour four. So where are we starting here?
First one here is a New York State Pilsner, done German style. Has 100% New York malts and 100% New York hops. So light, crisp, a little bit of a backbone towards the German style.
So I think the first thing I'm like, this is German style. Just that flavor you're getting from it at the beginning. But definitely nice, easy drinking beer. Something that now we're getting cooler, but I think what's good with the Pilsner is you can just always have it. You can have it all year round. It's always in season.
We always try to keep Pilsner and cream ales on tap, one or the other, if not both. So
yeah,
and that's why this is called Not Complicated.
Very straightforward. And you're gonna you're gonna always have people come in and they want something light, refreshing that they can just sit and, day like today, sit and watch a football game. You can have a few of these.
Yeah, it's not complicated. The name fits it really well. And I love how this tastes, and I love it just goes down real well, nice and crisp.
So the next one is Southernmost Point. This is our key lime pie. It also has graham crackers in there, in the mash, so you will get a little hint of that, but you're definitely going to get the key lime.
Key lime, yep. I love key lime pie, one of my favorite desserts. But to be able to get that into a beer and really encapsulate the flavor of a key lime pie, but still have it be a beer. And you can still taste the beer, the hops a little bit. It's really well done. I feel like this is going to be a complicated one to try and perfect.
Second iteration, tweaked the second time. This again is all New York, or mostly a New York State beer for ingredients. It's got 70% New York malt, 100% New York hops. So yeah, it's been a hit. People have enjoyed it. It's been selling like hotcakes here, which is good. But it's also been a nice warm summer to where something like this, people have really enjoyed it.
It starts off with that lime and the tardiness, but as it sits there and as you're letting it just kind of sit in your tongue and the aftertaste, you're getting that graham cracker.
Full grain, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's like you get the crumbly crust after you take a bite of actual key lime pie.
I love that taste.
All right, so the next one is There's No Comma, New England style IPA. This one has Citra and Mosaic hops in it. Nice malty backbone you'll get from it.
Creamy. Automatically, like, very smooth. Love how it goes down really easy. I love that taste. It's like, it's an interesting sweetness.
Yeah, it's not like that sweet you get with some, like, I don't want to say like after dinner, like dessert style beers, something like that. It's a little sweet, still a little bitter. And, you know, I'm a big fan of New England IPAs, things like that. This is very well done.
All right.
So one more.
Yeah.
So
I love the color on this.
So I would definitely say, you know, clear your palate with the first sip, but this is, we call it our lab series. This is a wild ale that is aged.
Local assorted barrels.
Yep,
Assorted
barrels, yes. So it's aged on over 150 pounds of cherries per barrel, and this is in a rye whiskey barrel for 6 months. So it's going to be.
Wow, that's incredible.
I was getting the smell.
Wow. Yeah.
First when I was going in.
Well, the first sip's going to, you know, pucker you a little bit just from switching around, but you'll start to get the cherry notes, the vanilla on the back end.
This is evolving over time, and they do. So
We haven't had one of these in a while.
can I give away the secret?
What's that?
That we
Real
have
hot
some aging
Oh, yeah,
of
we do
all
have-
varieties. So we
Yep.
sold out of the peach and the blueberry, but we have some aging.
We have some
so
held, so when we
we
release
do the
another
next,
batch.
we'll do a tasting and we'll re-release some that
yeah.
were done in 2019.
So these sat in the barrels, this one for 6 months, and then we bottle conditioned it for 2 months before releasing it. And the more it sits, the more complex it will get.
Awesome taste. I mean, I love the color too. You know, I gotta say, I wasn't sure what I was gonna expect going into it, and you know, it's immediately I'm getting cherry with nice sourness, and I mean, of course the barrel age, the rye whiskey barrels. I mean,
It's coming out strong right now.
Yeah. See, when I looked at it, I almost knew
didn't expect that
immediately
part. No.
what would come from the cherries, but getting that from sitting in the rye whiskey barrels, this is one I feel like almost when you get it bottled or however you serve it, if you had the ability to let it sit a little bit more, I feel like the notes that you would get out of it over time would get even better.
These age very well.
Yeah.
This is like a celebration kind of beer. I mean, just something that, like, you know, when something big happens, you want to have a bottle of this, something that you got to pop open and celebrate. Like,
I think the two fruit ones have been my favorite so far. The key lime, now this cherry. These are both that I could see taking home.
I mean, as much as I love these, though, also the Pilsner and your New England. I mean,
Can't go wrong.
these beers. If there's a restaurant around here, a bar distributing, how are people getting a hold of you guys, and how are they getting their beers, getting your beers?
The main way is ONCO at ONCOferment.com. That reaches me and Brian. But we also have an email for Tom, which is sales@ONCOferment.com.
Well, thank you guys for everything.
Thank
It's been
you.
amazing.
Thanks for getting, reaching out, like for my post there, like, hey, we want to go somewhere.
Yeah.
Like, where can we go? That really worked out, and this has been awesome.
It's just nice to be able to sit outside, sit inside. In the summer, these overhead doors are open. They have, music. So it's just a great.
Yeah, actually, last weekend we stopped down here just to see if there was a food truck. There was a guy playing a guitar out. So we stayed, we had food, we listened to the guy playing, and it was excellent.
We
love it here.
Yeah, we come a lot. They,
Yeah.
if you're looking for New England IPAs and sours, which, you know, who isn't these days, it's definitely the best place in Syracuse, in the greater Syracuse area.
Yeah,
It's
and
fantastic.
it's nice that there's, you know, 3 or 4 beers on tap that I want to try. Like, I'm really excited about trying. So I had the Saison first. That was also very good. And there's a couple more that I even still want to try. I'll have to come back.
So that ends our day here at ONCO Fermentations, but it ends the day for the video. We're gonna hang out a little bit longer here because we just love what Brian and Erin are doing here. Can't wait to have some more beer, but you guys gotta come check this place out.
Yeah, really excited to see what the expansion is going to look like once they get the new doors in there, the expanded seating area outside, the bigger deck, all that. It's going to have to wait, but for now, we'll just have some fun out here. If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube page, like us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram, Twitter, everywhere you can so you can see where our journey takes us next on What's on Tap.
Cheers.
Let's go grab a seat.
Let's go. You know, it's staged. Oh, we're not actually taking the seat, Cam. We're lying to the viewers.
Oh my God.
It's okay.
It works.
I mean, we're gonna take a seat. We actually are
will.
staying here, but I don't know. I think we're just gonna go inside. This is actually the first time that I purposely started talking after the video.
Okay.
Is this going in the episode? Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah, this is going
We'll
in the
see.
episode. It's just my belly. All right, now you guys can see me.